You know, the best thing about life is that you create it. So, regardless of what is right now, regardless of what's happening right now, what you have in your life, who's around you, whatever it may be, regardless of if you like it or not, you're in control and you get to choose to be the deliberate creator and intentional creator of your life. And you do that by noticing the correlation between what you're thinking and what's showing up in your life, because there is a correlation. There will always be, and most of the time that's way below our awareness, so we never really see, we're never really aware of the thoughts that we've been thinking and how those thoughts propel the actual situation, circumstance, and event into physical being. This is how it works. And I've seen it. Just pay attention. And I like to know that this is how it works, because things don't just happen by accident. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And whenever you know why things happen, then you get to be the creator of whatever it is that you want to happen, instead of going through life unconsciously and not knowing why things are happening, thinking that it's random. You get to think thoughts, flow energy towards those thoughts, give them a lot of emotion and feeling and energy and vibration, frequency. You get to flow all your conscious awareness towards that thought of whatever it is that you desire, and bring it into the physical world, because that is how everything was brought here. Think about that bed behind me, or that photo up there, or even this camera that I'm recording this video on. It was all an idea. It was a thought in somebody's mind, and they gave enough attention and energy and awareness to that thought, and it began to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because whenever you're tuned into a frequency, let's just say that photo, the artist was painting that photo, you're thinking of a thought, and law of attraction is drawing more similar like-minded thoughts, like-minded vibrations to you, and you're receptive to that frequency, so you can't receive any other thoughts than what you're transmitting. So law of attraction is not only drawing in physical things to your life, and not even primarily at first. Law of attraction is always working, but at first it's drawing in thoughts, similar thoughts, and the emotions that you feel when you think thoughts are letting you know this is the way that that inner part of you is looking at what you're looking at, the same way as you, or if you're looking at it differently than that inner part of you. Better said, whenever you feel good, you're looking at the situation and you're looking at the thought and the subject just like that inner part of you is looking at the subject, just like that non-physical source of you is looking at the subject. And whenever you feel any negative emotion to any degree, it just means that you're looking at the subject differently than that inner part of you is focused on the same thing you're focused on. So law of attraction is not primarily drawing in physical things, even though it is, but at first it's drawing in thoughts. Now think of law of attraction like gravity, because it's a law, it's a quantum physics law. Now gravity is a physical law. Law of attraction is quantum, which means that it's superior to gravity. And think about this. Whenever you think of the sun, or a big, massive object that has an attractional gravitational pull, the sun has other planets and other objects in space orbiting around the sun, because it has this big magnetic pull. It's causing other objects to stay in motion around it. Now, law of attraction is the same way. Think of this belief of yours, like the sun. You have a belief, and a belief is only a thought that you continue to think. So let's just say your whole life you thought, I don't deserve money. I don't deserve money, and you may have never even said those words or even consciously thought that, but just by the way you grew up and the people you grew up around, that belief is inherent within you and embedded within you due to your environment you grew up in. So now you have that thought your whole life, I don't deserve money. And this is just an example, but this goes with any belief. And it's just a thought, right? It's just a thought. It's not harmful, but I don't deserve money. And you start tuning into that frequency. Now, law of attraction is attracting more like-minded thoughts to that sun, to that belief. Because think of that thought that you've thought it for so long that it just attracting more and more and more thoughts, energy, frequency, vibration, emotion, causing this big, massive black ball of energy like the sun. And now, whenever you activate that subject of money in your life, you automatically start attracting those thoughts that are similar to it. Rather than prosperity and abundant thoughts, you start attracting the thoughts that are most active within your vibration. So if you have an active vibration around money of I don't deserve money, and you think of money, you automatically feel doubt. You automatically feel negative emotion because you're focused on the subject of money differently and in opposition than the way that inner part of you is focused on money. Because that non-physical part of you that you are an extension of knows that there's an abundance of money, and money is a renewable resource, and there's always enough for you whenever you need it. And you're prosperous inherently. You are born rich. And whenever you look at the subject of money in opposition to what you deep down truly know, you're going to feel that negative emotion because there's so much discord in your vibration. Because up here is what you know deep down, that non-physical part of you knows that you were born knowing. And whenever you think that thought and you're aligned with that, you feel great. But whenever you feel anything other than that and you're thinking negative thoughts down here that you don't deserve money, now there's this big gap that you've created, and the only way to feel good and close that gap is to think thoughts and look at the situation like that inner part of you is. Now, law of attraction is just like gravity, because law of attraction is attracting to you. It's like orbiting thoughts around these belief systems that we have. So knowing that is important, because when you know that, then you could start deliberately and intentionally and on purpose change your belief systems and begin to look at subjects how you would like them to be, and instead of what they are, if they are unwanted right now, change the way you look at the subject entirely and flow energy towards the wanted aspects of whatever it is that you want. So for money, for example, if you're in this situation and you think and you have a belief system of I don't deserve money, and the way you know, by the way, if you have a negative belief system towards any subject, is the way you feel. How do you feel when you think of money? How do you feel whenever you think of relationships? How do you feel whenever you think of whatever it is? You can do this with anything in your life. Activate that subject. Activate it by thinking it, because whatever you're thinking of, you're activating the vibration of, and the way you feel when you activate that vibration is your indicator whether or not you've been thinking primarily doubt thoughts on this subject, or you've been thinking abundant thoughts on this subject. So pay attention to the way you feel, because it's letting you know at every single moment in time what you're doing with your vibration. And now let's continue. So law of attraction first attracts thoughts. We'll say thoughts, it's really vibration, but it attracts thoughts to you. And the more and more you think those thoughts, I don't deserve money, I'm not good enough for money, all those thoughts, right? You start next not attracting, but you start speaking about it, you start talking about it, you start reflecting that doubt that's inside of you externally. So now you're talking about it, talking to your family and friends about how much money you don't have, about how much money you need that you have no idea how you're going to get that thing that you want, and you just start talking about it, and you start taking action, physical action, out of lack, trying to compensate for money that you're missing. You're speaking and taking action from that vibration of lack, thinking that you're going to accomplish something by taking all that action, when really you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're exerting unnecessary effort, because you're only going to yield yourselves results from the vibrational frequency you're taking the action from. So if you're transmitting, I don't deserve money, well, going to work or working on your business from that vibrational frequency, you're gonna get results that are equivalent to the vibration you're transmitting, and not the action that you did. Make sense? So law of attraction, after you do that enough times and you start thinking like-minded thoughts, taking action from that place of need and lack, and speaking about it, now you've created this big massive sun, we're going to call it, this big massive black ball of energy that's just orbiting into your existence, people, situations, circumstances, and events that are going to take place and show themselves in your life. Yeah, at first it was just little thoughts, little doubt thoughts, and now you're speaking about it, taking action, and now situations are happening where you're getting fired from your job, or you get a flat tire and that's costing you more money when you need to receive money, but now you're spending more money unnecessarily. So you start attracting experiences like that into your life because of the beliefs that you hold and the thoughts you think. And just test this for a second. Don't just disregard it because of any reason. Test it out. You know what? I'm gonna start thinking a little more positively. I'm gonna be caring about the way that I feel. Let me try this. And you start being aware of the way that you feel in relationship to the thoughts that you're thinking, and start intentionally thinking thoughts. And if it doesn't feel good, then you stop thinking that thought right then and there and move on to a thought that does feel good. The more you start doing that, then you're gonna see that better situations, circumstances, and events and people are gonna begin flowing into your life, giving you more of that feeling that you transmitted to begin with. Because law of attraction, whenever you are so focused on a thought, on a belief, on this thing that is wanted, okay? We're gonna call it a job. Let's just say you want a job so bad because you think that that's the way you're gonna earn your income. You start thinking about the job, you feel good about it, you're in expectation. Your expectation is high that a job is gonna fall into your lap. You have no doubt, no worries in the world. You know that this thing that you want is near, and it's coming soon. You could feel it, and you feel good. That good feeling emotion is an indicator letting you know that you're looking at the subject the same way that inner part of you is, the same way that that source of infinite intelligence, of God, of universe, whatever you want to call it, that source is looking at the job the same way you're looking at it. It's looking at it from abundance because it knows there's an abundance of jobs that you need in order to receive money, and you're looking at it the same way, so you feel good. If you were looking at it any other way, then you would fill the gap through your negative emotion, and that negative emotion is not bad. It's just an indicator letting you know that you need to change the way you're looking at the subject. And now that you're looking at the subject and practicing this vibration of here rather than the one down here, now you're gonna start to attract similar thoughts and ideas that are on this frequency, thanks to law of attraction. That's always working, always has worked, and will continue to work. And whenever you practice that vibration long enough, now a person's going to come into your experience that's going to introduce you to another person, that's going to introduce you to a job that they have an open spot at. and you're going to get your job. It's going to result in that manifestation, in your desire, in what it is that you want to receive. And you're going to feel good because you felt good. You're going to feel excited, maybe, because the manifestation makes you feel the way that you've been vibrating. Whatever you feel and you've been thinking, you get more of that. So if you're thinking thoughts that make you feel freedom, love, and joy, you're going to get situations and events and people that are going to make you feel more freedom, love, and joy. And just test this out and don't just disregard it. And same with the opposite. Whenever you feel worried, doubt, fear, and you're transmitting that dominant, you're just broadcasting a strong signal of worry, doubt, and fear. Now, whenever you pay attention to what's going to come up next, you're going to get emotions of worry, doubt, and fear whenever these manifestations occur in your life, because that's what you've been broadcasting, that's the station you're tuned into, and that's what you're hearing. That's what you're receiving because you're transmitting that. So just try it out, test it out, be aware. Don't just blindly go through life thinking that everything's happening to you. Nah, it's happening because of you. And whenever you take full control and responsibility of why you have everything that you have in your life, whether you want it or not, now you have control over what comes in next, and you get to be the receiver of everything that you've been asking for, because you will begin to be the transmitter of what you've been asking for. You're going to begin to transmit and think and feel on that frequency of what you want, and you're going to get more of that because that's how it works. This is how law of attraction works. It's just like gravity. And keep that analogy in mind. The sun is a massive object that other planets and objects around are orbiting the sun. Same with your beliefs. You have this big belief, whether it's good or bad, and every time you activate that belief, you're going to get other thoughts that are around that subject. And the way you feel is letting you know if you're looking at that subject like you should be, like you intended to, or like you did not intend to, like you shouldn't be looking at it. And whenever you feel any negative emotion, you want to switch your thoughts to something that does feel good and begin to shift your dominant vibration on the subject from one that is negative to positive.